Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am doing a video all about Jaclyn Hill today. When I did my Makeup Geek video, I was speaking to one of my subscribers in the comment section and said that I had an idea to do this video, and they said that it was a good idea, so that's what I'm doing today. We have quite a lot to cover. I'm going to be going through everything from the start of her channel, the good, the bad, the scandals, and up until where we are today. So I have a feeling it's going to be a long video, but I hope you will enjoy watching it, and I hope you like my channel enough to consider subscribing to me and give this video a thumbs up, and let me know if there's any other influencers or brands that you would like me to do this type of video on. But let's just go ahead and get started. So Jaclyn started her channel in 2011, so she was definitely one of those original beauty influencers, and she started off doing basically just makeup tutorials. Later on, after a little while, she started doing reviews and like monthly favorites, that type of stuff, but she was very much in her niche of doing makeup tutorials. She knew that was what she was good at and what she was getting views in, so that's what she stuck to. And I believe she was working at MAC when she started her channel. And she said that the reason she started her channel is because the people that she was doing makeup on, they said like, oh, I wish you could do YouTube videos and show us how to do our own makeup so we don't have to always come into the store and get it done professionally. And she said that was one of the reasons why she started her channel. And I think in about 2012, she did a Q&A video, and one of the questions in that was, are you still working for MAC? And she said no. So I'm assuming she stopped working for MAC in 2012, and I believe that's because that's when her YouTube started to take off and she saw the potential in a career opportunity that it could be. And I think her first affiliate that I remember, and from what I can see on her channel, was Velour Lashes. They were a mink lash company, cruelty free, and she did like a giveaway with them, and she had a discount code. I believe that was the first affiliate with a brand that she had. And then along came Sigma brushes, which she was using Sigma brushes well before when her channel started, but I think in 2014 was the first collaboration she did with them, and it was like, I think 7 brushes, like a face and eye brush set. They were all her favorite brushes that she used from Sigma, and they put it in this kit that people could then order, and it did very, very well. It sold out within 2 days, I believe, and then they did a restock, and that also sold out. So she was doing really well with them. And around this time, she was a very big affiliate for Makeup Geek as well. I believe that she was one of the very big influencers that was really selling and marketing for Makeup Geek as an affiliate and brand ambassador. I know that the reason I tried Makeup Geek was watching Jaclyn, and I remember the shades I got because of the recommendations she did in tutorials and stuff. So she was definitely a big influence on me to try Makeup Geek. In 2014, she reached 1 million subscribers, and she did this massive giveaway for that to celebrate it. And then a little while after that, she did like her first, I think, vlog style type video, like a follow me around video, where she went to California. I think she was there on business. We didn't know what that was for, we do now. But she went there and she did this vlog, and then she did a video addressing the hate that she got for that video, and took the video down because of the hate comments that she was getting. People were saying that she was just acting very pretentious and over the top, and she wouldn't go into detail about exactly what was said, but that they were coming after her family and insulting them, and that was the reason why she took the vlog down. And I think that was the first time she ever really addressed hate. And then in that video, she also introduced Morphe to us, which she said that while she was over there, she thought Morphe only did brushes because their name was Morphe Brushes. So she had no idea that they also did eyeshadows. And that was the first time she showed us like a palette that she had bought and how inexpensive they were for the quality that they were. So that was the first introduction that we had to Morphe. And then we found out the reason why she went to California, I guess, was that she was collaborating with Gerard Cosmetics, and she made 4 products with them. I think she only released, I think it was either a nude lipstick or it was the 1995 lipstick. So she had like a pinky nude lipstick which was called Buttercup, I think, or Buttercream, something about a butter, and then she had like a Kylie Jenner inspired lipstick called 1995 with them, and she also collaborated on 2 glosses. No, I think it was a gloss that came first, the Rose Hill gloss, and then she also did a pinky nude lip gloss with them. So altogether she had 4 products that she made with them. So rose gloss, a pinky nude gloss, pinky nude lipstick, and the 1995 lipstick. And they all did really well. I actually tried them all personally and I really enjoyed them. And then in 2015 she did her first collaboration with Morphe, which was the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. So it wasn't one that she created, they were shades that Morphe already sold, but they were all her favorite shade that she just picked out and put it in this, I think, 35 pan eyeshadow palette, which I have till this day. I really enjoy it. I think it was a great palette and it was a great introduction for consumers like us to figure out, to get a sense of Morphe as a brand. And I think in 2015, in one of her videos, like a Get Ready With Me, she was putting lipstick on and she hinted at Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. And she was like saying about what name should she name this lipstick, stuff like that. So that was like our first thing that, oh, she's doing her own line. And she was also going to be collaborating with Makeup Geek. I don't know how the news got out about this. I don't really remember, but she was doing, I think, like a 9-pan eyeshadow palette from the research that I've done, and some of them were shades that she was custom creating with Makeup Geek, and some of them were shades that Makeup Geek already does, like her favorites. So yeah, so that's how we found out, okay, there is a collaboration with Makeup Geek coming up as well. And then in 2015, I feel like 2014 and 2015 were Jaclyn's peak years. It was when she really skyrocketed to success and in a top tier level of influencer on YouTube in the beauty community. And then she released Champagne Pop with Becca, which really just, it went through the roof. The success of this highlighter, I still own it and I absolutely love it. It's one of the best highlighters I've ever used. It is not hyped up for no reason. It was excellent. No scandals went along with this. It was really good. And then she did another video, I think something about my late night thoughts or something like that, and she was addressing hate again and saying how mean people were to each other in the comments, and that she really wanted people to just be nice and think about what you're saying. You're not just typing into a keyboard when you're saying these words. And I remember she had a huge crush on Ashton Kutcher when she was a teenager, and he actually like retweeted this video and she was so excited about it. So that was another video I remember her addressing hate. And she did a second round with Becca, another collaboration. I believe she came up with another highlighter called Prosecco Pop. I can't remember whether the blushes were custom or something that Becca already had, but I think it was like a 4 or 5 pan palette blush and highlighter. And she also did a very small neutral palette with Becca, eyeshadow palette, and that was with, I think that was like her first scandal with a brand. When she did her Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette with Morphe, there was a little bit of like people weren't able to put their order through because of the website crashing, and she explained that the reason the website crashed was because they were being severely hacked by like fake people trying to check out so that people couldn't order their orders, if that makes sense. But this was like her first actual scandal with a collaboration, because the quality of the eyeshadow palette that she released with Becca was not Becca's normal formula, and it wasn't performing well, and then they decided to actually recall everything, and that was the end of that. But the face palette, on the other hand, did really well and sold excellently. Then we know that they had like a fallout, I guess, Makeup Geek and Jaclyn, because the collaboration was no longer happening, but we didn't really have any insight or explanation into why that occurred or what had happened. That was going to come later, which we will discuss about as well. But yeah, we basically found out, okay, that's not happening as well. Then in 2017, launched the Jaclyn Hill original palette with Morphe. It was her custom shades, custom palette, her own formula that she'd created. It is an award-winning eyeshadow palette, and for good reason. You guys have seen me use it on my channel before. The colors that she chose, the textures and formulas chosen, everything just works well. It is an all-round great palette. You can use it for daily use, dramatic, colorful, you name it, it's all in that palette. So that really did so well, and I believe it still sells pretty well till this day. She did like a get ready with me and Kim Kardashian video. I remember watching that, and I think that was the first time Kim had like done anything like this. So Jaclyn was that first person to do a collaboration with a celebrity, like with Kim Kardashian. I think Nikki Tutorials has done collabs with celebrities as well, but Jaclyn was the first one to work with Kim. And I remember then they did this video where Jaclyn like annoying Kim Kardashian for 3 minutes straight or something like that. So yeah, everyone said like, oh, she's like over the top, but I feel like that's genuinely her personality. I feel like she's just a very upbeat person, and Kim on the other hand is much more mellow and calm, so that's why they were so opposite in that video. She also did purchase a house in 2017, and it was this huge mansion. She still lives in that same house, but huge house. So she was doing very well for herself, and however she did announce her divorce with her now ex-husband John. They were together for years and years. She'd met him when she was a teenager. They got married very young. We all watched their story unfold, but obviously it came across very shocking to us watching, because their relationship always seemed so perfect and they were so in love and happy. So we didn't really know like there were issues going on. I think they had addressed some financial issues and strains that put on their marriage when they first got married. I think that they were quite open with her ex-husband's addiction issues, and so that came as a little bit of shock to me, because they seemed so like a unit. And I can see, speaking from personal experience, that what you put online is really what you choose to put online. So it can look very deceiving. Like if you look at someone's Instagram feed or something, it can look so deceiving versus what someone's going through in real life. So she did announce a divorce with her husband in 2018, and then she did her second, kind of third collaboration with Morphe, and that was the Vault collection. Yes, we're going there. And so basically the Vault collection, it was I think 4 eyeshadow palettes. So they were like different color stories. So there was a red one, a yellow green one, a purple one, and like a dark smoky one. And they were all palettes that she wanted to put in her original Jaclyn Hill palette, but just didn't have the space for it because it was already a 35 pan eyeshadow palette. And she picked out I think 100 something shades when she set out to do this original palette. So these were sort of the leftover shades that she couldn't put in the original palette but she wanted to release. So that was kept in the Vault. So I think the idea of what she did was pretty genius with the Vault collection, because it had different stories. Yes, they were quite similar to the original palette in the sense that there's quite a lot of reds and neutral warm shades in her original palette, and then there's the red palette in the Vault collection. So yes, there are similarities, but I own the Vault collection and the original palette, and there are definitely differences in the both collection. But the scandal surrounding this was that it was not performing the way that she said the original. She said that it was exactly how the original palette was. So if you like that, you will like this, but that was not the case, because it was patchy, unblendable, and they basically sent PR out to influencers of the Vault collection, and they were getting horrible reviews. Some good reviews, but majority of them were pretty bad. So they decided to cancel the launch and relaunch it once they figured out what had happened to it. So they said that they were postponing the launch, they're going to figure out what happened and fix the issue and then relaunch. But then 6 weeks later, they relaunched it. And that was very confusing, because a lot of experts have even said it is impossible to go through a whole recall or whatever of the products that they made to find out the issue, fix the issue, and produce the good Vault collection. Like, it's just not possible in 6 weeks' time. So we actually don't know what went on there, what happened in those 6 weeks. She said that the eyeshadows were in quarantine and that they were being like checked for what was happening. So now moving into her Let's Talk video. This was like a 40 something minute video that she did. She addressed the Vault collection. She showed like stacks of the eyeshadow palettes that she was swatching herself, trying to figure out what was happening. She spoke to Morphe. She was very open and sharing her conversation with Morphe back and forth, like what happened and how's the return policy on it. And then the whole scandal about the V2 like on the back of the Vault. So basically people were thinking that when they received the good palettes, it had like the sticker that said V2 on the back, and people assumed that meant version 2, as in it's the good Vault collection, not the bad one. And so people were freaking out that if they didn't have the V2, that they had a crappy palette, even if the palettes were performing well. So that was a big scandal. She basically didn't really say much. They didn't actually say what went wrong with the palette. She just said these are the statistics that we got for the returns and what the issues are, but I'm talking to Morphe about it, and that was literally the last that we heard of it, and I think that's all we'll ever hear about it. But personally, I own the Vault collection and I have no issues with any of my palettes. So I think that was a bit of a hit and miss collaboration for her and Morphe. And then she started dating Jordan, who is her now fiance, and there was a little bit of scandal about that people were, based on the social media timeline, they were like, oh, you moved on like so quickly, you must have been cheating on John with Jordan and all this stuff, which really, it's none of our problem and none of our business to judge. She knows the reality of what happened as she has lived it. And then in 2019, finally, after 4 or 5 years of waiting for her launch of her own cosmetics line, she launched Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, and she launched 20 lipsticks. And now we are going into the lipstick gate portion of this video. Oh boy, there's a lot to cover in this. So basically she was launching 20 shades of lipstick, and they were all nudes, ranging from the nudest to the nude to the deepest of skin tones. So she wanted to cover everything so that everyone could find their perfect nude lipstick. And I was so on board for this. I was waiting and waiting for this. And then she mentioned the prices, which were actually pretty good, like for the packaging, and I love the packaging, it's so her. And the idea of, you know, the launch behind it, it all made sense to the brand. And it was only going to be $18 for a lipstick, and you could get a trio for $49. So I was on board. I was waiting to get my hands on these, but I can't remember why I didn't order straight away. But then started coming in the reviews from people, and they were not good, like and also the PR didn't go out to the influencers before it went to like normal consumers like us. Which is very strange for that to happen. I can't remember exactly what the reason was for that, why the packages didn't go out. I can't remember. But basically, even the people in PR that ended up receiving PR got crappy lipsticks, as well as people that actually paid for them. It's just absolutely insanity what happened. And basically there was fibers, hairs in the lipstick, there was metal, I think, in the lipstick. I am not lying, like it's on the screen, you can see pictures, and it was just this massive, it is a contamination issue, I think. I think most people that have read about this can agree on that. And then after a little while, she didn't really address anything straight away when all of this started coming out, but she did end up doing a video called My Lipsticks, like explaining what had happened. When I watched that, I was just like, it didn't make sense to me, because she said that the reason there were fibers in the lipsticks were that the beakers or vats that the batches were being made in was being wiped through with a microfiber towel, and that was creating the fibers. And I'm thinking to myself, how many brands make lipsticks? Like, think about it. How many brands make lipsticks? I have never seen this issue in any lipstick that I have used. So that made no sense to me. She basically said that the main issue was actually the melting issue, that they were, because the lipstick formula was so creamy, that it was being melted because of, you know, when it gets delivered, if people are at work or something and it's sitting outside, that it melts. And that was, she said, that was the main complaint. She said, oh, you think like the hairs or like the black holes, which she actually ended up calling oxygen bubbles, which again, I was just all of it. I was thinking to myself, I have used so many lipsticks, I have seen so many brands release lipsticks, and I've never come across something like this. Like, it just did not make sense to me. I remember even watching Raw Christy Beauty's video about, you know, she did the microscope thing and she pulled that long hair out of it, and that was a lipstick she received in PR. She didn't even pay for it, and even people that paid for them were getting them like this. So that was also very hit and miss, because some people got their lipsticks and had no issues with it. And then I remember Marlena, who's the owner of Makeup Geek, her, and she shared her thoughts on it on Twitter and saying like it's a contamination issue and it should be recalled, that people should not be allowed to use this for safety reasons, like think about women that are pregnant and things like that. And I just remember, I agree totally with Marlena. I agree that they should have been recalled and actually gotten to the root of what the hell happened to these lipsticks. And I think they couldn't do a recall because this is very shady. I actually don't know what was going on there. But they didn't have batch numbers on the lipsticks. Like normally you have batch numbers or batch codes, and then you can say, okay, this was a bad batch or whatever, and you can recall that and try and figure out what went wrong so you can fix it and not let it happen again. But these lipsticks didn't have a batch code, so I don't understand what. It was just it was a mess. This launch was an absolute failure, as it was really, really big. Like, especially for someone that had hyped up their brand for so long and said that, you know, she wanted it to be perfect. She's such a perfectionist. So I can imagine how disheartening and painful this would have been for her to go through. So then she took a few months off social media, no YouTube, no Instagram, none of that. I think she did a video saying where I've been, and this was like a 20-minute video. And she basically rambled for 20 minutes about nothing. Everyone thought it was going to be her explaining exactly A to Z what happened with the lipstick, an apology maybe, but there was none of that. She basically just didn't really say anything for 20 minutes. It's like the lipsticks, she just kept saying like, oh, that, you know, it happened and I'm gonna get back on the horse and just move on, and it is what it is. That's part of my life, that's part of my story. And that was basically the gist of the video. There was no explanation for what happened to the lipsticks, no apology even. So it was just like, yes, this is done, let's move on now. That was basically how it was. But I think she did do refunds to everybody. Some people I think said that they didn't receive a refund, but yeah, she definitely offered refunds to everybody for the lipsticks. And I think that was a huge financial loss for her, and as well as just, you know, your pride, your ego. This is something that you waited so long for and worked so hard on for this to happen. It would have been so disheartening. And then she moved to LA. The story was that her ceiling had collapsed in her bedroom and they basically had to do something. There was this whole lot of work, and she put like pictures of what had happened, and people were even wondering whether that's the truth because of the way it looked in the pictures. They were like, oh, this looks so made up. And I feel like people constantly attack her for every single thing she does and says. But anyway, she moved to LA, and while she was in LA in 2019, she made she launched another product for her brand, which was a highlighter collection, and I think it was for like the holidays or something. And she launched 3 different formulas of highlighter along with 3 brushes to go along with each formula. So there was a palette and like a mood light. You can almost use it like a setting powder, like a luminous glow from the inside powder, and like a really, really, I think like a mega volt, mega beam, something high beam loose highlighter as well. And there was a little bit of controversy because people said that her PR packaging looked like Fenty Beauty's like shape of the packaging. So there was a little bit of scandal there. The quality though of these highlighters were absolutely beautiful. Jaclyn knows highlighters. She knows like, you know, looking at what she released with Becca and Champagne Pop, she knew what worked, what highlighter formula was and how to make it so good, so that was no problem. For me, the issue that I had with it was very contradictory to what she said in her Let's Talk video, which is why the fallout with Makeup Geek happened. I don't think I addressed that earlier, but she said the reason why she didn't end up fulfilling the collaboration with Makeup Geek was because they were going to charge quite a big amount for a very small palette, and she was going to be coming out with her Morphe palette very close together to the Makeup Geek collection, and she just felt like, well, people are going to see how much cheaper the Morphe palette is for so much more product versus 9 pans for much more. And she never divulged how much the Makeup Geek palette was going to cost. I'm going to assume it was between $45 to $50 because Manny MUA did a collaboration with Makeup Geek, like the 9 pan eyeshadow, so I'm going to assume hers would have been the same. And the original Jaclyn Hill palette was $32, I believe it is. I don't know if that's US or AUD, something like that. And yeah, so she said basically that's why she didn't want to do the collaboration with Marlena, was that it wouldn't make sense. That's her exact words in that video. So when she said how much the highlighter was going to cost in her own brand, I think the palette was, I think I've written it here, hang on a second. The palette was $49 for 4 eyeshadows. The loose highlighter, like the powder one, was $32. And the Mega High Vault something was $24, and the brushes ranged anywhere between $20 to $24. And I just, in my mind, I felt like her brand didn't have the best reputation because of everything that had happened with the lipsticks. So you have to win your consumers' trust back, and over that, charging such high prices, like, I understand this is very, very nice packaging, luxurious formula, made in Italy and stuff like that, but like, that was why I never purchased it. I just felt the prices were too high for someone that had had so much scandal surrounding their launch of their brand, and then that was a flop, and then they're just going to launch these very expensive over-the-top products. It just didn't make sense to me, especially considering why her Makeup Geek collaboration ended, and then she goes and charges so much for her own products. Like, that was just very contradictory to me. But that being said, those products did really, really well, and she still sells them. I think they were meant to be limited edition, so I don't know what happened there, but they are doing really well. They got really good reviews. And then in the beginning of 2020, she did a video, like a get ready with me, about her being vulnerable, and she addressed a lot of the issues that she was having with people commenting on her appearance, which I think is so rude. Like, no one should have the right to comment on somebody else's appearance. I just think that's so rude, and she gets attacked for that a lot. And yeah, it's just not very nice. It's not nice. But she basically opened up about her alcohol issues, and that was the root cause of her inflammation in her face. And she said that she did put on a lot of weight after the lipsticks happened, because she was not in a good place. She was very depressed. She had a lot of anxiety, and that's when she also turned to alcohol. So the alcohol, and you know, she put on some weight and all of that. It was just, she was not in a good place, and I can imagine like where her head would have been at. It must have been incredibly difficult to deal with that, especially publicly, people talking such, you know, crap about you and all of that. So it would have been very difficult. But that was basically what she said. She wanted to address why she looked the way she did, which I honestly don't think you owe anybody an explanation. If you look a certain way, that is your body, and if you are happy, it is nobody else's business. That's just my take on that. And then she launched liquid lipsticks. So these were the same like nude lipsticks, but in liquid lipstick form, because people said that they really liked the shade of the lipsticks that she launched initially, but minus the fuzzies and black holes and all of that. And so she created those same shades but in liquid lipstick formula, and she also had, I believe it was 12 lip liners or something. They weren't meant to go with them, but she also released liners to go with the liquid lipsticks that did incredibly well. But again, I never purchased them because I just feel like the prices in her brand in general are a bit high, especially when you convert them to Australian dollars and shipping and all of that. And then she did the Bougie Rouge collection, which was 2 blush palettes, a lip cushion, like 3 shades of a lip cushion thing, and I believe 3 shades of like a cream to powder type of blush. This also did very well, no scandals with that one. Then she did like a face powder palette thing, which she's still selling, which is also doing well. She did like an under eye primer, all that type of stuff, no scandals with any of those. And then in 2021 she launched her Hot Summer collection, which was like a body oil, a lip oil, and cream bronzers. And the only scandal with this was that the cream bronzer, she only released 4 shades, and they were not wide enough of a range for everyone's different skin tone. So, and I can see that now. She could have definitely done, you know, fair, light, medium, and dark with 4 shades, but she did say that they were going to be expanding the shades, which is yet to be seen. But that was the scandal with that launch. Where we are now is she is happily engaged to Jordan. It was really sweet actually watching like the proposal video and their engagement party video, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing her planning the wedding, and hopefully she shares a little bit of that with us. That would be nice. And she is also doing Jaclyn's journey, which she's been doing for a few months now, where she started off pretty much like a diet, but more like she wasn't being so hard on herself, and now it's more so that she's opening up about her alcohol issues, and you know, she's wanting to be sober and be clean with that. And I think it's so brave of her to share something, because that's something not a lot of people talk about, and it's definitely a big demon for anybody to have, and it definitely needs to be dealt with, because it can break down a lot of relationships, and it's something that definitely needs to be taken care of, not just for the betterment of your relationships with somebody, but even for your own health, your own well-being as well. That's my belief. So she's very courageous to share and be so open about it, and it's something I've enjoyed watching actually, is her journey on that, and I look forward to it whenever she uploads. And so that was pretty much my video. I think we have a lot more to see from Jaclyn Hill. She's nowhere near done. I think there's a lot more to come. I'm definitely a huge admirer. I'm definitely a huge supporter of her. I pretty much bought everything that she's ever come out with, other than her own branded stuff, only because the price is, yeah, for me it's just a bit high personally. But other than that, like, her makeup skills, I'm sorry, but if you don't like her, or if you like her, you cannot say that she is not good at makeup, because she's excellent. She's taught me everything I know. Everything that I know is from watching her for all these years. It's like, I go on marathon sometimes watching her videos, old videos, all of that. I really, really enjoy her content, and she is someone that I'll definitely watch for a long time to come, and definitely want to see what else she has in store. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below. We can have a little chat going on there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.